Hi, everybody. Welcome to my new video series, which is called Dating the Godly Way. And decided to make this video series because I've been making dating content for a long time on Twitter, and people really appreciated my thoughts on things going on in dating culture. And it also started because a dating coach that I used to know, uh, out of respect, I'm not going to mention his name, but I'm sure some of you know who I'm talking about. He really appreciated my opinion too on dating topics, what my thoughts are on things. That is actually what got me started to make dating content. And I was researching, I started to follow people who are in the dating culture, that talk about various stuff like the red pill community and stuff, which is for modern dating culture. Because the kind of dating culture that we see today is the modern dating culture, not traditional dating culture, but the modern dating culture that we see happening. And that is not going to be what I am going to be making videos for. I am not making videos for modern dating culture. I am going to make videos for people who want a traditional dating culture. If you look at society today, I'm sure that you guys will understand that there's a real need for that. Going back to traditional values, it's really bad out there. And, another reason I'm also making these videos is because I found a course that I can follow to become a professional dating coach. I know that people value my opinions on things, my thoughts on things, they appreciate my advice. So they appreciate my dating content that I make. So I decided to do it professionally, because some people copy my content and use it as their own. Like they have said those things, like they have come up with that. Uh, I know that my content is valuable, so you know, so I decided, you know what? If my words are so valuable that other people feel the need to steal it and use it like they came up with it, I'm gonna do this professionally too. Uh, Not to take revenge on someone else, no, but because I know that there's a true need for it. So this is not to take revenge or to compete with other dating coaches or whatever that people want to make of it. No, this is because there's a real need for it. Uh, I think that dating culture needs more wholesome people. And with more wholesome people, I mean people who know what true friendship is, people who know what a healthy relationship is, people that know what marriage really stands for, what values and boundaries there should be. Because if society keeps going like this, the way that it is now, it does not look good for future generations. And we can already see the consequences of that. So it was not easy to find a good title, but I think I found a good title for it: Dating the Godly Way. This video series is for people who want a traditional dating culture, not modern. And there's a lot that we can talk about. I can make a lot of videos about stuff that's happening in dating culture. This video series is also going to come on my Carnivore YouTube channel, because there are also a lot of single people in the carnivore community, not just couples that are connecting with each other. There are also a lot of single people in the carnivore community. And I think that they would also appreciate how I feel about dating, what they should consider, if they want to find a partner these days, because it's nothing to brag about. I'm going to be honest, it's not. The dating culture is nothing to brag about. It's a disaster, a real disaster. And I don't see it getting any better soon, to be real. I don't see it getting better any soon. Not this year, not next year. It just keeps getting worse every year. So there's a lot of stuff that we can talk about a lot. And I also watch videos about dating culture. So if I talk about something, it's not something that I made up. I really look at videos to see what other people talk about. I do my research. Um, I myself, I am single. I practice celibacy. Uh, I'm not a codependent person. I am an independent person. I always had long-term relationships. And I don't think you need to be in a relationship to be a good dating coach. I have an age that I know what I'm talking about. I have had life experience. I know what red flags are. I know what to watch out for. I have learned lessons in life with it. So there's also this belief that people have: you can only give relationship advice if you are in a successful relationship, or if you're in a successful marriage and you're not single. Those people, that is a bit like entitlement. That is a bit like, I know it better than everybody else. And I don't like that mentality. They have been single once too. They haven't always been in a marriage. They haven't always been in a relationship. They were a few times in their life single too. And a lot of people also settle. Some couples stay together because they're afraid of losing money. They are afraid of, if they break up, that they're gonna not going to be okay. So that's another reason that some couples just settle, and then they can say too that they're still married, that they're still in a relationship, but it's not. On the outside world, it looks like they're really happy, but when they're alone in their home, you don't know what's going on. On social media, everybody looks happy. I'm just saying. There are a lot of people who pretend to be happy. But what I mean with the title, I will explain the title of this video series. These days, a lot of people only care about the superficial stuff. The kind of partner that they choose, what job that they have, what income they have, what their looks are. People these days choose someone based on superficial reasons. And it's always with an agenda that they have, of what can I get out of that person? If I would date that person, what can I win out of it? That's the mentality that people have now. They choose someone based on what can they get out of it. And that's really the wrong way to choose a partner, because that's not going to make you happy. That's not going to give you real fulfillment in being with someone. It's going to make you satisfied for a certain time, but that is going to wear off eventually. And reality of life is going to kick in. Everyday life, in beginning it may seem exciting, and what people then do is another big mistake, is that in the beginning, when it's exciting, they make huge life decisions. It's like a drug addict who is high, for example, a drug addict that is high. And what happens with a person that is high? They make stupid decisions. Well, that's what these modern couples do. They choose someone based on superficial reasons. Everything has to stay on a high. They want to stay high. The pleasure hormone, right? They want to be high on the pleasure hormone when everything is still exciting and new. That's when they make huge life decisions. But later on, daily life is going to happen, and they're going to wake up. They're going to wake up out of their high. But to prevent that, they do stuff to keep the excitement going, like trips. Oh, now we should do this. Now we should do that. To stay on that highness, to stay on that excitement, because they know that once that excitement phase is over, that they're gonna realize that they're with somebody that is not their person, that is not meant for them, that they chosen that person for foolish reasons, that is literally playing with your life. That they literally play with their life. They literally play with their life. I'm sorry, but that is the truth. You have to choose a person for the right reasons and not for superficial reasons, because those superficial reasons can be taken away any day in their life. You're not gonna be forever young. You're not gonna look forever good. You're gonna age. You're gonna become older. If it's a career, your career can end any day, any hour of the day. It can be over. You know how people are. You know how superficial people are. Today they love you, and tomorrow they can hate you. And your career is over. Or the economy gets affected, and you end up in debt. And then they don't want to stay with you anymore because now you have debt, now you're bankrupt. So to choose someone for superficial reasons is actually dumb. So if that ends with that person, it's your own damn fault that you were then with that person, because you chosen them for superficial reasons. So the only person you can be angry at is yourself. And then the second mistake that they make is uh, they make huge life decisions in the beginning when it's all new and exciting, but they don't think long term. What is my life going to be like with this person long term? Oh, well, I will see it when it happens then. No, that is again being a clown. That is again being dumb. There are certain things, like if you are a business person, if you have a business, you should definitely think things through and not make impulsive decisions, because that's being impulsive. You're not really thinking through, you're really not planning this well out. You just make huge decisions in the moment. This is like lottery winners, right? When people win the lottery, they're shocked, they're excited, they're happy, and that's when they spend their money on the wrong things. Well, this is the same. You make huge life decisions when you should not be making them. You should wait off till real life kicks in, everyday life, and see if they then still want you. Can they wait? They have people that live together after one date. That's ridiculous. That's crazy. That would be like I see a person walking on the street and I ask them to live with me, a total stranger. How can you know someone after one date? That's crazy to me. That person is still a stranger. And I always say dating is not a relationship. It's not, it's a situationship. That person has to ask you to be their partner, their committed partner, and then you can call it a relationship. But if they're not asking you that to be their girlfriend, then you don't have a relationship. You're just dating. And it's a situationship then. Dating is turning a situationship into a relationship. But they have to ask you. It's turning it exclusive by them asking you. If you date a man and he doesn't ask you that, you guys are not boyfriend and girlfriend. You are in a situationship because men date rotational. And if he's serious about you, he should ask you that. And if he doesn't, then someone else is gonna be asked. And but women think if they're dating someone, it's a relationship. That person is their boyfriend. No, it's not. It's not. Uh, and I know I warn already now. I know that my videos are not gonna be for everybody. I already know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for certain topics and that people are not gonna like what I say. That's why I said these videos are not for modern dating culture. These videos are for people who want a traditional committed relationship towards marriage and not modern dating. I do not encourage rotational dating. I do not encourage casual dating. I do not encourage situationships. All of that stuff. Don't. I want to talk about those topics, but I'm not gonna encourage it. Those kind of topics are gonna be talked about because it has to be talked about. But I do not encourage it. Um, this is an intro to why I chosen the title. Uh, People think that they know what they're doing, but they don't. They don't have the right mindset. They don't know what a healthy relationship is. They don't know what values are to look at. They don't know what boundaries to set. And if you talk about stuff like that, then you have people who think like, yeah, but if I don't lower my boundaries, if I don't lower my walls and this and that, nobody is going to want to date me. Well, if you think that if you say some stuff like that, then you are dating the wrong people. I'm just gonna say it like it is. Then you are looking for someone in the wrong places. Then you are dating the wrong people who are not good for you, who are not good for your life. And that's why you're single. And that's why you don't get to the stage of commitment or marriage. That's why these men don't ask you, because you're looking in the wrong places. And you allow men into your life that are no good for you. And you don't have enough self respect. You don't have enough self dignity or confidence to say no to those men. And that's why men don't take you serious. That's why these men are attracted to you, but they're attracted to you for the wrong reasons. They sense you have no self respect. They sense that you have no self dignity. They sense that you have no confidence. And that's why they play mind games with you. That's why they put you in a situationship. That's why they do that to you. And you are attracted to them because you don't know it about yourself. That's why you're single. It's not just looking outside, what's happening in dating culture. It's also being aware about yourself. What you allow as a woman. Because as a person, you teach other people how to treat you. So if you don't have values, if you don't have boundaries, you teach other people that they can do with you whatever they want. And that's how you end up in those situationships. That's why you end up being a third party. That's why you end up being a side chick or whatever. And men who have multiple women, you shouldn't be dating them anyway. If first you have to ask yourself, first you have to do introspection on yourself and look at your past relationships. What kind of men were you attracting? Do you have a certain type? What were those connections like? What were the red flags? What was positive? What was negative? What subjects came to surface? What did we talk about? What were the topics that we could not talk about? What were difficult topics? Am I a problem solver? Or was I the problem solver in the relationship? Or was I causing the problem in the relationship? Was I the loyal one? Or was I the cheater? So you do a lot of introspection first about every connection you ever had. That's how you can see if you grow as a person If you are becoming more mature with time, do you become? So I was saying, you do the this part too. So you do the introspection on yourself, and you look at how you have evolved in your love life, and you should become a more and more mature person as you age, because you have people that are really lucky to meet their first love, and it lasts a lifetime. But that's not for the majority of people. So for the majority of people, they go through different types of relationships. uh, they don't stay with the first person they ever met their whole life. That's really rare. That happens. For the majority of people, they have been through a few relationships before they meet a forever person. Know what I'm saying? But those relationships then teach us that we're ready and much, and I mean with ready, that you are mature enough and have enough wisdom, have gained enough wisdom. You don't have to be a perfect partner, but that you at least have matured enough and have gained enough wisdom that by the time that you meet your forever person, that relationship hopefully lasts. Of course, people have their free will, and if you are a woman and your person is a man, there's no guarantee these days that even your forever person is gonna stay loyal. I'm just gonna say it like it is. These days, men have a lot of choices since the internet, since smartphones, since apps, dating sites, and stuff. And you know how men are, the more variety they can choose from, the less loyal men become. So the more variety they can have or find, the less loyal they become. Even though they could be married, even though they're in a commitment, it's gonna happen. I'm just gonna say it like for real. Because now we also live in a dating culture where women should just accept that men are going to cheat. Women should just accept it. And men feel entitled to do it. A lot of men these days feel entitled to do it. And you should just accept it and be okay with it and not make a fuss about it. Just keep your mouth shut. And you're not allowed to be upset about it either. But don't do it to them. Like if you would cheat on your man, that's a huge problem. Don't do it to them, but they feel entitled to do it to you. So that's another thing that we have in dating culture now. Men feel entitled to cheat, and you should just accept that. It's no more a conversation. It used to be a conversation, But now it's no longer a conversation. And they also don't hide it anymore. They literally tell you that they cheat on you. They literally tell you that they've been with someone else. And they're not even ashamed about it anymore. It's like a normal thing. Know what I'm saying? That's another topic that we should discuss in this video series. I have seen already a lot of crazy stuff in videos of other people, what dating culture today is like. What people believe, what people feel entitled to, how people think marriage should be, and all that. It's crazy. You know, I would have if I could not be with a modern man. I could not, because you have people that say that they are traditional, right? They are for traditional relationship. They are for traditional marriage. But when you look at how they live their life, right? If you look at their lifestyle, and if you look at how they behave and stuff, and what they believe in, and how they see a relationship, how it should be, what you should accept as a woman, if you want them to be your man, they are not traditional at all. They don't live by traditional values at all. So, yeah, and people that might say, Nadine, but if you are that old fashioned, we don't live in the 50s anymore. Well, I would say, no, we are not the 50s, no. I'm quite well aware what year we live in. I'm very well aware we live in the 21st century. But just because we live in modern times doesn't mean we have to lose our common sense. Doesn't mean that we have to throw our values out of the window. Doesn't mean that we should just accept whatever and be okay with whatever and let people treat us like trash. I am not being old fashioned. I am reasonable. I am being smart with my love life. I'm not a perfect person either. I have had a few relationships and a normal amount for the age that I am, because a lot of women, their body count is much higher than mine. And my body count against theirs, I am literally a saint next to modern women today. I am literally a saint next to modern women today. That's another topic I want to talk about in this video series, what modern women are like and how they behave. There's a lot of content that we can make about that. Um, I also talk about, meaning traditional gender roles. There's going to be another sensitive subject for most people: traditional gender roles. I'm going to get a lot of hate for that too. But I don't care because it has to be said. That's something we're going to talk about: gender roles in a relationship. Um, what red flags to look for in that, or watch out, and not really to see if something is really wrong with someone, but to watch out for. Uh, a lot of people don't know what marriage stands for, or they do know what it stands for, but what it's really about, but they want to treat it like a business. It's a business agreement. Or this other belief that people have when they go on dates: I'm gonna do this date like a job interview. The person, I'm gonna do the date like a job interview. I think that's also really a wrong way to go about it. We're gonna discuss that too. How to go on a date in the right way. What you guys could talk about, kind of questions you can ask on a date. We're gonna talk about that too. How a conversation should really go on a date, and not treat a person like your future employee, because you're not gonna treat your partner like your employee, right? You're not gonna live together with your boss. You're not gonna live together with your employee. You're not gonna sleep with your boss. You're not gonna sleep with your employee. This is so this these people who want to treat dates like a job interview, and who want to treat a relationship like a business, it's so ridiculous, because it's such two different worlds. Your career from your love life is not the same. It's not the same. It's two different worlds. Yeah, in a relationship, you have to create a foundation, but it's not like a business. If you are together with a person, like, it's that's outside. I don't know what that is. The wind. There's again a lot of wind for 2 days already. Um, a car. Whatever. Sorry, guys, for the background noise. Yeah, an agreement. They have a paper agreement. Those type of couples that a contract relationship. Know what I'm talking about? You have those couples that are a contract relationship. That couples that are together to benefit each other's career, or to benefit each other financially. Those are those. contract couples. And what I have seen with that through time is that those contract couples never last. They usually last about 5 to 8 years and then it's over. Those relationships never last a lifetime. There was this one couple in history, Zach Bagans with Holly Madison from the Playboy Mansion. They had a contract relationship and they dated about, I believe, 3 to 5 years that they were so called committed to each other, but they were only committed before the camera, for just for social media. But in real life, in daily life, they were living apart, both in their own house. They were not living together. They were just together for social media. Now and then you would see them a picture taking on their date. But if you are dating someone, if you are in a relationship, there's not always going to be a cameraman. There's not always going to be someone taking pictures when you are living your life, when you are going on a date. It's all BS. Those relationships are not real. It every time you go on a date, there happens to be a photographer. There just happens to be someone filming. But you're just living your life. Yeah, no, I don't buy that bullshit. I don't. And then I have those relationships that I call Instagram relationships. And I call it Instagram relationships because these are the kind of couples that whatever happens, everything has to be documented on Instagram. Everything. Not one moment in their life may be missed. And every moment of their life has to come on Instagram. I call those Instagram relationships, which I don't find a real relationship because you have to have something of privacy. It's important to incorporate privacy of your love life. Why? Because if everything is always public, if everything is always in people their faces, that means you have no privacy in your love life, that you have no privacy in your relationship, which then means no intimacy time, no intimacy, no privacy within the relationship. There always has to be people around because you have to prove that you're a couple. You are never alone. There's not one day you are both by yourself. You always want people around you because you want people to see that you're a couple. Like, people don't know that you are a couple. I'm sure by now people know that you are a couple because you broadcast it out every day on social media. You always want people to come over. Like, rest assured that people are aware that you guys are a couple. Like, don't worry about it. You have shown that enough. But the problem is when there's always other people around you, when everything has to be broadcast on social media and in person, there's no bonding time. There's no privacy time for you two alone. And then I'm thinking, like, do you know how to be alone as a couple? I don't think you do, because you are never alone. And that is important, to have time alone with your partner. And not every day people around you. And not always everything on social media. That's going to damage your relationship. That's going to take time away from you two bonding. And people don't understand that sometimes. And that's what I call the Instagram relationships. It's like you have to prove that you are a couple. People know that you're a couple. Rest assured that people know you two are together. You don't always have to prove it every day and the whole day through. People are aware. But these couples do that for attention. Their attentions, those are the couples that are the attention seekers. Their relationship only lasts because of social media, not because they're strong as a couple. No, Instagram keeps them together. But in private, when they are alone, how strong are they then as a couple? When they're totally by themselves, how strong is their relationship then? When there are no likes, when there are no comments, when there's nobody to brag about them, when they're completely isolated by themselves, how strong is the relationship then? My guess would be not so much. Because the only reason that they then stay together is because Instagram keeps them together. As long as that people like them, as long as people comment, as long as they get their followers, everything is fine in these relationships. Because they measure the success of their relationship based on how they do on Instagram. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's why I call it Instagram relationships. And you can see right away who those couples are. They post a lot, they post everything about their relationship. They love to brag on social media. Like, hey, look at us. Now we're doing this. Now we're doing that. Oh, yeah. Wow. Like, that stuff doesn't even impress me anymore. I am a person like, oh yeah, I'm really happy. I'm really happy for you. You are doing well, but those things don't impress me. I'm not impressed by that stuff because I know better. Great for you. Happy for you. You guys went on a vacation. That's also important, but I'm not impressed by that. I just wonder how strong your relationship would be if Instagram didn't exist. Imagine that Instagram didn't exist. What would those couples then be doing? What would they be doing then if Instagram didn't exist? That they don't have a place where to brag about themselves, you know? If they didn't have the opportunity to choose a person, oh, if I choose that person, then I'm gonna get a lot of followers. Then I'm gonna get a lot of likes. Yeah, then I'm gonna get a lot of comments. I have to choose someone that makes me look really good. Like, imagine that Instagram didn't exist. What would they then be doing? What kind of relationship would they then have? Or what kind of partner would they then have? And everybody wants to look good on Insta. Everybody is happy on Instagram. Everybody is happy on Instagram. Everything looks good on social media, but that's just a snapshot out of their life. And then real life is not Instagram. Real life is outside of Instagram. Daily life, that's real life. Daily life in your private home, that's real life. And what kind of relationship do you have in your private home? Because that's matters most. That's where you really live. You don't live on Instagram. Your real life is in your home, in your private home, in your daily life. That is your real life. And what kind of relationship do you have then? That's a big question. Because everything outside of you can be taken away from you any moment. Any moment that person could say, it's over. I'm leaving you. I don't want to be here anymore. Or I don't love you anymore. I want to find someone else. Or I don't love you anymore. I found someone else. And sometimes they don't even say that anymore. Now, these days, the way that people break up is cricket sounds. People don't say anymore it's over. They just leave without a word. Figure it out yourself, you're abandoned. Figure it out yourself, they left you. And they didn't say anything. They just walked away without a word. That's how people break up now. They don't talk about it anymore. No, they just leave without a word. And that could happen any moment. I'm telling you, I'm telling you, there's so much that could be talked about that is not enough, is too much to put in one video, but something, yeah, so I was doing an end and outro for the video. So this is part 3 for this video because it always records every 30 minutes. The outro to this video. There's so much that we can talk about. So much. It's too much to put in one video. To be real, like I thought that I could squeeze everything in one video while I'm making this video series, but um, about the title then, to continue on that and making the outro, it's really needed that people find other people that are still for real traditional dating and real traditional relationships. Because too many people fall into sin. So that's another topic that is going to be discussed. Dating and what is spiritually happening when you're dating. The faith, the spiritual side of it. The spiritual, energetic side of dating that does not get talked about enough. What happens spiritually, what happens energetically when you are dating, when you are getting to know a person. That is another topic that doesn't get talked about enough. And a lot of people are creating soul ties with a lot of people. People already come in with soul ties. Attachments. I'm talking about energetic attachments. Uh, that's also a topic that I talk about. That people have spiritual attachments and that you have to watch out with that for yourself. I'm talking about karmic people. Not everybody is a karmic person, but some people, especially religious people, think that having their faith is enough to protect them from karmics or soul ties. No. Just because you're a religious person doesn't mean that you cannot have spiritual attachments. Doesn't mean that you don't have soul ties connected to you. And spiritual attachments are soul ties. Are karmic attachments. They can be demons, they can be bad spirits, but it can also be that you as a person from your past and they put a spiritual attachment to you, or there's still a spiritual attachment, an energetic cord of that connection, even though it's over, and it can be years ago, but there's still an energetic cord attached to that person. So those are soul ties too. Or you have spiritual attachments because of your lifestyle. And we're going to talk about that too. That living a certain lifestyle can attract dark spirits, can attract demons, can attract karmic people into your life, can attract the wrong partner into your life. There's and how that can affect you yourself when you get to know someone, how you can protect yourself, how you need to set boundaries. Like, people have something against boundaries these days. You, the, People feel that you should have no boundaries at all. You should be okay with everything. But that kind of mentality, that kind of mindset makes you vulnerable, not just for the wrong people, but also can make you very vulnerable energetically for energy vampires, demons, bad spirits, karmics. And that is something that people do not want to acknowledge. They want to ignore that truth. But you cannot ignore that, because we're talking about your life. We're talking about your future. Your life and future are at risk. And if you live by the mentality of, I should not have boundaries, I should accept whatever, and you're not living your life right. You're not right in your minds. You're not being smart. You're being dumb. And I don't care what other people say. I don't care what other people think. But I cannot, guys. I cannot accept what's going on. I cannot. It's a disaster. It's really a disaster. And sometimes it's better to be by yourself than be trying to get a partner into your life, because a relationship is supposed to make your life better. It's not supposed to make your life harder. If a connection makes your life harder, then it's time to step out of it. You can talk to that person, you can try and make it work, but if they make your life a hell, that's not healthy. That's not how it should be. A relationship is supposed to make your life easier and not make your life more difficult, not make your life more harder for you. But if you are in a relationship, in a connection, and people want to make your life miserable because they're jealous, because they're envious, that stuff has nothing to do with you. Then those people are projecting. They are projecting their insecurities onto you. and they are trying to turn a healthy relationship into a toxic one. Then you have a situation where you are in a connection and people are making your life harder for you. People are making your life more difficult. And then your partner has one choice to make. Either they agree with the enemy or they choose a relationship. And if they want to choose the enemy instead of choosing the relationship, well, that's an answer too. Then you also know where you stand. Because they should be choosing the relationship, not the people who are making it more difficult for you to, not the people who make it more harder for you to. Like I said, a relationship is supposed to make your life easier, not more difficult, not harder. So if you are in a connection with someone and other people are making it more difficult for you to, making it more harder for you to, that's a huge sign for your partner to make a simple choice. They either choose the enemy or they choose a relationship. And if they don't choose a relationship, then it's time to choose you. Then it's time to leave because they don't choose a relationship. So that's an answer too. You don't need their apology. You don't need to hear them say, I'm sorry I hurt you. No, they already made a choice. They didn't choose a relationship. They chosen the enemy. There's your answer. That's the answer that you were looking for. They did not choose you. They did not choose the relationship. And that's all the answer you need to know. That's all the answer you need to know. They didn't choose the relationship. They chosen to make it more difficult for you. They chosen to make it much harder for you. And that's why, because of also, do you know what that also is? Then we come to this spiritual, energetic energy of a connection. There could be negative forces influencing the people in your life. Because when there's jealousy and envy, that is connected to dark forces. There are dark forces at play who are using the people in your life to turn them against you. Because people know that they have free will, and people know that they create their own life. So when they choose to be jealous, when they choose to be envious, they allow an outside force to not believe in their free will. They don't believe in their free will in that moment. They don't believe in that moment that they can literally create whatever they want in their life. They know this truth, but they don't choose it in that moment. They forget about it. So there's an external force that is influencing them to forget that truth and to choose jealousy and envy. So then there are dark forces that are influencing them that they're either aware of or not aware of. And it's that little voice in them talking, oh, you deserve that too. Yeah, you deserve that too. You should take that person from them. You should gossip about them. You should lie about them. You know, the angel and devil on the shoulder that people sometimes talk about. You have an angel and a devil on your shoulder. And they let the devil talk more than the angel. So that's another thing that happens, but people do not want to acknowledge it, that evil exists and that evil spirits exist and that they work for the devil. Evil spirits work for the devil, right? And they roam freely around on this earth. They're everywhere. And they've been longer on this earth than we are as a humanity. And they've been studying us for thousands of years. They know how the human psyche works. They know how people feel. They know how people think. And they use that as a weapon against us. And sometimes an argument with someone is not just an argument with someone. Sometimes it's a demon, an evil spirit influencing them. Assumption, assuming things about someone, is also being influenced by a negative force. Well, I think this person is cheating on me. I think this person is lying. I don't trust that person. I think this and that about that person. That's also that devil on the shoulder talking. So you have to discern if your judgment is righteous or not. You know the difference between right and wrong. That's how you're gonna know if your judgment is righteous or not. But most people just think and do, you know? People are actually very impulsive. More that people actually realize that they are being impulsive. And a lot of things happen on automatic pilot. Uh, we have to become more self aware, we have to become more conscious about our thoughts, about our emotions, about our actions, about our decisions. We do too much on autopilot. We need to reintroduce slow living, becoming a sensitive, multi-sensory, you know, like physical consciousness mental consciousness, emotional consciousness, spiritual consciousness, becoming multi sensitive because we live in the end of times. And you see that in dating culture too, that we live in the end of times. People are very promiscuous, anything goes. People are not ashamed about anything anymore, anything goes. People also want to normalize polygamous relationships, polygamous marriages. I said every year it's becoming more crazy. Every year it becomes worse. That's also a sign that we live in the end of times. Uh, that people become more sinful. People become more immoral, more sinful, more sexual sinful. Uh, yeah, you see it in everything that we live in the end of times. You see it in every life area. Uh, but I know that's not popular. I know that people do not want to talk about it, but I'm sorry, we are going to talk about it. Anyway, I'm going to end the video because this video is becoming really long. But I want to include the light, the divine, into dating again. I want to invite God back into dating. I want to invite the light back into dating. I want to invite the divine back into dating because it's really needed. Okay, guys, I'm going to end it. Thank you for watching, and I hope you guys are going to enjoy this series. Bye.